one. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and for America's Voice. I'm live right here, and it's an honor to be standing next to a man that served in Vietnam. Your name, sir?
Jan Ruhman, R-U-H-M-A-N.
What position you serve in the military?
I was in armored personnel carriers, Amtraks. Two tours of Vietnam.
Oh, amazing, amazing. What is your perception right now on, I see that you're wearing Deported Veterans Advocacy Project. What is that project, and what are you here in this beautiful day for?
Well, that project is a project of the national, and actually it's an international organization now because we have chapters in London and Mexico and Vietnam and other places around the globe, of Veterans for Peace. You can Google us at veteransforpeace.org. Our project is Deported Veterans Advocacy Project, and we're trying to change legislation on behalf of veterans who have been deported and are facing deportation. My position and my organization's is that it is absolutely wrong. It's a moral outrage. We deserve, and they deserve, to be protected as a nation, and those who protect us deserve our protection regardless of their moral character. They should be U.S. nationals. Anyone who comes into the United States and serves in our military, and we drafted them for the first time in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, they're still required to register for selective service, which is the draft. And if they don't register, they're deportable. And if they don't come if there was a draft and report in and serve, then they're deportable. But now since 1996, in an immigration called the Illegal Immigration Reform and Responsibility Act, signed by Bill Clinton. Newt Gingrich was the Republican in charge of the House of Representatives, and I forget who the senator was, but they controlled both houses. In the contract with America, I called it the contract on America, and in that piece of legislation it caught up veterans because it did three things. It took away the discretion of a judge to look at the whole life of an individual and not simply judge them upon one bad act. None of us are any of our single actions. Life is much more than that. People change. People can make changes. Veterans deserve to be respected, and today if a veteran runs afoul of the law, he finds himself, if he's in a good city like San Diego or Oklahoma or Buffalo, New York, he'll find himself in a veterans diversion and treatment court, meant for exactly to stop them from going to prison, to get a record, and to get them back on track, whether they need psychological counseling or career counseling, or if they need help with drug or alcohol addictions, or anything they may have suffered from their involvement in the United States military, with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury or any physical injury. We are on this side of the border because we have brothers that are deported down here. We know about 300 in Baja, California. We know that we've seen many from even further down. Our funds, our resources limit our depth of involvement around the globe, but veterans are deported all over the world, for every country you can imagine: Mexico, Canada, Jamaica, Guam, Puerto Rico. I mean, every country around the globe.
It looks like the United States, and pardon me the interruption, but it looks like the United States is right in the middle of a process that it needs to be fixed, because I don't know where it got to the point that there's nobody is doing anything about it. And you got, and pardon me for the comparison, but there's a mass migration right now asking for political asylum, and I think that it should be priorities that should be given for the people that serve in the military. What do you think about that?
I think that the United States has treaties and laws that relegate and regulate how asylum seekers and refugees are treated. I don't think they're being treated that way right now under the Trump administration. Otherwise, they wouldn't be taken across the border, file their process, and push them back across the border into Mexico. That's against the law. That's against international treaties, and when the United States signs a treaty, that is law of the land. But in terms of veterans, it should be a top priority, especially at a time where we got wars going on around the globe. I think we're involved in 5 countries: Afghanistan, we're involved in Iraq, we're involved in Syria, Yemen, I forget the other 1 or 2. But
dangerous countries.
Dangerous countries, yeah. And so at a time when we're at war and when everybody says thank you for your service, at a time when we honor our veterans on Veterans Day with such fanfare and pomp and pageantry, to do this to these men and women, because they do it to women now too, who have served in our wars all the way back from Vietnam all the way forward to Iraq and Afghanistan. To treat them this way is a national disgrace, in my opinion.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your opinion, sir. Thank you so much for your beautiful service at Vietnam. You know, it's an honor to meet you.
It's an honor to meet you as well. Thank you, Oscar.
You know, it's you wearing that hat. Really, it's really an honor to meet you.
Well, I don't wear the hat for people to say thank you for your service, but I do wear it because in this atmosphere we live in nowadays, people do thank you, and so it allows you to have the chance to engage.
Yes.
And so therefore, I take that opportunity.
A message to the American public that you want to say to them.
Say again?
A message to the American public that you want to say to them.
Call your congressman, call your senator, call the White House, call Homeland Security, call anybody and everybody in any city and state government, and let them know you think this is wrong. The deportation of veterans needs to stop.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
God bless.
We are right now doing this live video. ¿Estás grabando? And we are hearing right now this groups that they are creating right now the idea of being independent from the country of the United States. California is not supposed to be part of the United States. That is kind of like what I'm getting from these two people. And also, this is what I'm getting from you know, an activist from Baja California. So
the Baja Peninsula, divided by two Mexican states, has long sought to emerge from the troubled Mexican Federation. But now the President of the United States
crazy.
is openly hostile to the world, including California.
All these diversity of cultures in one little circle.
We, the people of Alta California,
You got the Muslim community, the Methodist Church. You have people from the Islam community, the religion of Islam, I'm sorry. You got groups for immigration right here. This is unbelievable, people. As I just came back from the last video to do this interview with a deported veteran, that he's saying stop the deportations on veterans in the United States. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. My job is to report and to give you guys information on what is happening in our city of Tijuana, Baja California. I will be right back with another segment. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News and for America's Voice. Stay safe and always remember peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first.